Our keynote speaker. Okay. He is a South African, an international speaker and experienced speaker. He is a researcher, a preacher, a MC. And he holds a master's in business administration and the master's in philosophy in mechanical engineering, Bachelor of Technology, a national diploma in mechanical engineering and basis on the project management. And he's been on the field for long, and his focus area is on the decision making and discipline and promoting employees' engagement and ownership and accountability. And ladies and gentlemen, I didn't read all the profile, but he has a lot going on in his life and profession. I give you Mfundo Nkosi, our keynote speaker. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Hello. If someone can just maybe assist us to close this one. I won't when I use it. I didn't want to be formal today. I wish to extend my appreciation to the organizers who have invited me to this event as a keynote speaker. As they've indicated about my profile and who am I. Today, actually, I wanted to bring a lot of questions and less answers, and absolutely close to no answers, because I want this to be a thought-provoking. One of the things that I did when I came to this event was to look at what JCI does, or what they stand for. And three things actually that resonated with me when it came to that. And that is developing leaders for a changing world. Then number two was to inspire young people about their responsibility to create a better world. Then it was about young people driving the change. In actual sense, we all see that we are living in actually a changing world. And the unfortunate thing is that now it is changing at a very high pace. And we need leaders who will be able to assist us to control this change so that as it continues to change, it changes for the better. But if we don't have leaders who will be able to control these changes, we're actually going to end up having a disorderly world, or actually will continue to create havoc and chaos. Actually, we're living in times we have moved from first industrial revolution, we moved to second industrial revolution, and we have moved to third industrial revolution. Now we are in the wave of fourth industrial revolution. Actually, it is our responsibility to even understand what is fourth industrial revolution means in our time and what does it mean for Africa. And when I speak of fourth industrial revolution, I can just say, as other people mentioned, that it actually is the amalgamation of various technologies to create new processes, systems, and create new and different business models. But it's not lost on me that in Africa, we have not even yet actually fully exploited the current business models. If we continue also voting leaders who are incompetent, leaders who are self-important, we are actually going to cause more problems for Africa. And I think our people also need to be educated around voting. I think the microphone also feels it's someone who normally I can speak for hours, but now because I have 15 minutes, I have to just cover most of things. I think you understood. You had it also when they were introducing. I have to always balance that the lecture balance with the speaker and the preacher, because in preaching we normally say I'm about to close. So actually, as Africans, we have become consumers, the greatest consumers. And the bad thing that I've noticed is that we are feeding an industry that has no money, and that is a debt industry. And they are making billions through our desperation based on interest. They have no money, they just control the moving of money, and then we get into debt because of peer pressure, because of desperation, because we want to show off now I'm an engineer, they must see the car that I'm driving, because actually we've made our trademarks to be our houses, to be our cars, instead of our robust character. Amen. So now we are living in those times that we have actually shifted the focus from ourselves to the things that have been designed by ourselves. Instead of praising our capabilities and understanding our capabilities, we are praising the products of our capabilities. Instead of focusing on creating more, we are actually stopped by the success of what we've already created. So that's a problem that we are having, and we need to close that gap. I said once that if we continue voting leaders who do not have a heart of serving people, we will now shift into a zone of living like animals, where a place when it is dry, we run. We've seen people dying in Africa running away from the governments that are not managed well. We've seen people running from South Africa to look for greener pastures, not because they want to leave South Africa, but because the government is not doing right things. We've seen our brothers moving from other countries coming to our country seeking for a better world, because the governments in Africa are not taking people seriously. And the question is, as South Africans, as Africans, we are running actually, and running at a fast pace, running from ourselves. We create problems because of greed, and there is something that Prof. Lumumba normally likes to say, that greed is like drinking salty water. The more you drink, the more you want. And that's a problem that we have. If we're gonna serve greed, we won't gonna create a better world. If we're gonna serve greed, we will forget that others are our brothers and sisters. If we will serve greed, we will forget that my neighbor's kid is my kid. If we will serve greed, we will forget that our businesses are actually generated to create profits, but not only profits, but also to create a better world. Now, if we keep on running as people, we will not actually have looked into it. That governments, now we are speaking in an era where we're actually clouded with unemployment. And youth and women are forming a great part of that predicament. And actually government, we must know, government won't gonna do anything for us. And we must know that the corporate also is actually shrinking. And there is one avenue that we have not fully exploited, and we need to start promoting that avenue, and that avenue is entrepreneurship. I said for us to actually succeed in entrepreneurship, we have to now start actually speaking about entrepreneurship in the same magnitude as we promote education. If we really want to succeed in entrepreneurship, we need to promote entrepreneurship in the same magnitude as we promote education. I have seen it and watched from LinkedIn, from Facebook. When someone graduates on LinkedIn, they get around 20 likes. When someone graduates on Facebook, you normally start to notice 400 likes and up. But when someone posts that he has started a business, you hardly see 100 likes from that. And we need to see that change from Africa if we want to create a better Africa for ourselves. If we start promoting entrepreneurship in the same magnitude as education, our mental state will start to shift. Our paradigm will shift. The creativity will move to lean towards entrepreneurship. Countries like USA, most of the employment, around 90% of it is driven by entrepreneurship, not corporates. Corporates have scattered around all emerging areas to make money out of there, but entrepreneurship is moving full forces. But for us as Africa, we need to also look into that space. It's high time now that we do not respect people because of the qualifications they have. But what are those qualifications contributing in building a better society? We need to stop this thing now of praising academics based on their accolades and look down on entrepreneurs, people who take risks in life. Actually, we should actually treat them equally. I said for us to succeed, we need to contribute equally. Yes, we do not have the equal muscle in terms of economy, but we have equal time. We can put equal effort in all areas where we participate. We can create a better world. I once said, if an entrepreneur starts a business to serve himself and his family, that entrepreneur must be helped so that that business focuses on impacting other people. If that entrepreneur can't move from that direction, that business must be taken over and be given a job, because it's a job for feeding the family and yourself. But the business is for actually solving the socio-economic issues. If the church is not there to create a better world but to serve one man, that church must also be helped to lean towards creating a better world. A society of people who are driving change, a society of people who understand their problems, and actually they are actually frustrated by their problems to the point of innovation and creativity. If that church can't be helped through that process, that church must also be taken over by people who have a greater mission, and that mission is to create a better world. If universities are there to create employees who will go down and sit at home without jobs, but they weren't going to create employees, they weren't going to create students who will use knowledge to create businesses, to create solutions in socio-economic, those institutions must be helped to lean to the direction of solving economic issues rather than creating professionals and employees. If that university can't be helped in that process, that university must be taken over and be given to people who have a mission of creating a better world. It's time now that we work together. They've spoken about coordination networks, that we work together in creating a better world. Not like us as academics writing papers to increase the statuses of our universities without actually focusing on the core problems that are facing our society. We need to speak together. Someone who have dropped out at grade 10, I once said to others, don't be judgmental to those people. At that time when that person dropped out, whatever he was facing, it was for that particular person, it made sense at that point to drop out. But for us now, we can create a future and hope for those people. We can actually maybe encourage them to move towards coding and stuff, and then they start creating small businesses for themselves. We need to use everybody, anyone, to create a better world in our society. But that cannot happen if we don't contribute equally. You use your talent. I once mentioned the issue of Mr. Bean. We all know Mr. Bean. Yes. I once used the example of Mr. Bean, one of the greatest comedians, without even uttering a word. Those actions, most of us have seen Mr. Bean, and we have fallen in love with his art. But actually, most of us don't know that Mr. Bean had masters in electrical engineering. He identified the opportunity that for me to create an impact in this world, I have to leave this electrical engineering and focus on comedian, and he has impacted many lives. My daughters at home, they are glued on their screen when they are looking at Mr. Bean, although now it was me at this time. However, it impacted me in my time. So you must, as a person, you must identify your inner abilities, who you are, what are you made of, what are you capable of. Try to move in all avenues until you identify the one that truly defines you as a person. And that's the one that you can use to impact the world. As Robert Kiyosaki once said, that there is competitive money, there is cooperative money, and there is spiritual money. Then he said, when it comes to spiritual money, that's when you will begin to make millions. Because spiritual money is about who you are, is about your purpose, is about meeting the need of others. The I has depreciated. I, myself, what do you normally say? I, me, myself, and I. When it comes to that point, it had depreciated. It's about serving other people. So now that is coming to spiritual money, where you do something that you are capable of, where you do something that, because we have a problem. Every time you see a post on the Monday, it's a Monday, I wish it is Friday. And if we continue to be that generation, we aren't going to solve our problems. We need to find those things that will drive us to sleep early in the morning, and when you sleep you feel that I am not done yet. We need to push in that level. We don't have to get into employment just because we want to feed our families. We've got a greater mission to create a better world. That's a great mission that we have. And in entrepreneurship, as I've said, we move from stages. There is self-employment, of which, including myself and others, we have passed through that stage. And then there is stage number 2, where you use an opportunity. There is a lack of supply of something. Then you create a business to meet that demand. But the last one, and it is difficult yet, it is necessary for us as Africa, and that one is creativity. Where you create an idea, you patent the idea, you protect it through the legal framework, and then you use it. The idea that anyone can't copy it. If they want to copy it, they must pay you first for you to give them that. And that's the direction we must go to. Remember, it seems difficult because we have not started. Remember, when they started their master's degrees, they feared them, but they conquered. So also ourselves, if we can focus on creative businesses where we create ideas, we're innovative, we cement them through legal processes. If it is spoken on a daily basis, it will change how we think. Lastly, we cannot contribute equally if we do not have purpose, the sense of resolve. I am responsible for the change. If we don't have that purpose, that I am responsible for the change, I will use my talent in music to actually heal the broken hearts. I will actually use my talent in art to create the art that will attract people from afar. I will speak such that people will want to listen to me when I'm invited again. I will want to write books that when people read them, they want to read them 3 times before they actually get into the concept of what you are saying. Because the way you are writing, you are talking to the brain of a person. I believe that even academics, they should take pride in what they produce more than what they are respected of. And all of us, even in business, instead of celebrating profits, we must create businesses that will actually assist us to balance the inequality that we have in our societies. It is serious. I once mentioned, and I passed it, that if our leaders will keep on chasing us by taking bad decisions, we will have a problem of living like animals in the forest or in the bush, where there is survival of the fittest, where people fight for resources, where there will be bloodshed because of resources. We need to wake up as Africa, create businesses. Thank you.
Wow. That was very spiritual. I felt the church in me right now. Now, thank you, Mr. Ngosi. Thank you. I remember I did, my research that I did in 2016 was based on the SMMEs. And the findings there showed that most of the black SMMEs, they depreciate or liquidate because they can't handle money. So now you can't take a person who never had 50,000 on his or her bank account and give that person $1 million rent. That person will start playing. They'll buy new cars. The bond of the car will be like, installment of the car will be like 10,000 per month. He will change places, go to Mhlanga, not buying a house. He will rent the house, or she will rent a house of 40,000 rand, and he will start to buy expensive clothes. Before you know it, the million rand is finished, and he hasn't started doing anything. Thank you, Mr. Ngozi. I'm not sure whether you guys wanna ask Mr. Ngozi something, anything. Okay, I guess you preach it very well. All we can say is amen. I can't see my president, but I see my other president here. Guys, in my management, these people, they frustrate me. I'm looking for Nwanda. Is he there? Is she there? Somewhere. Thank you. Mr. Ngozi, just for us saying thank you for your time. Thank you for blessing us with your words. Thank you for taking everything that you just said to us. We will make sure we take it and we use it. If you can come forward, take a gift and take a beautiful picture for our finance reports in the future. Because we need to account that you came to us and we really gave you something. Guys, smile to the camera. It's not like this.
Which one will face against?
Anyone.
Who's the other one?
The future is very bright. I like this light. I feel like I'm a celebrity. Joy, Joanna, see this light. I'm a yellow one day. Let me see me. I'm a yellow one. Why I like coffee? So I was looking for KK. It's KK Day. I'm just waiting for the direction on what I need to do now, because there were some changes. Welcome, 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 and welcome the local President Nwanda. Welcome. Thank you for coming. And your dress looks beautiful, looks stunning. I feel like I'm underdressed when I'm looking at old people.